Australia. This is our little quick tutorial on how to buy your first Bitcoin and then trade to another exchange to purchase other coins that you might want to invest in. Let me give you a good little rundown of what Bitcoin and cryptocurrency really is. Essentially what you are doing, you are trading your money, your Australian dollars, American dollars, for cryptocurrency, such as Bitcoin. Now, this Bitcoin, for example, has a worth. So for one Bitcoin, you'll have to spend at least 4,597 American dollars to purchase one. Now, that doesn't mean you have to spend that much money. You can actually just put $1,000 in to purchase a fraction of a Bitcoin. The value is still there. So let's say this price of Bitcoin reaches $10,000 American. Well, then your money would essentially, your $1,000 fraction of a Bitcoin would also double. You would only just be holding that fraction, however. So I'll show you how to purchase your first Bitcoin with as much money as you really want to invest. And then, as you can see down here, there is a list of alternative coins that you can then invest your Bitcoin into and see that grow also. So not only are you investing in Bitcoin, which will increase in value, if you trade it for another coin, such as NEO, as you can see here, from yesterday in 24 hours, the value of NEO has gone up 40%. So if I took my Bitcoin, bought NEO with it, which is another kind of cryptocurrency, if I did that, the value of my Bitcoin also would have increased in the same amount of time by 40%. So there is great value in trading your Bitcoin for other coins that will then also grow in worth as time goes on. And the importance of this is because we are part of a growing market. Essentially, this is very brand new. There's only 1% of the population of the world that's currently trading and using Bitcoin. It's predicted, however, that by February 2018, we'll see a 1% growth. So 2% of the population will be using Bitcoin, or at least be aware of it. And what that means is our market cap, which is essentially how much money has been invested in cryptocurrency altogether. If this is at 1%, which is $163 billion American invested in all cryptocurrency, if that's at 1% of population, you can imagine at 2% how much that would increase, especially once the wealthy get on board and start investing a lot of money heavily into this. You will see this rise to 2 billion, 200 billion, to 300 billion in very quick rounds. So you're still very early to the game, which is awesome because the quicker you join this, the more money you will gain in the long run. So how do you buy your first Bitcoin? Well, there are different exchanges to purchase your Bitcoin on. I have a certain method, which is using btcmarkets.net. This is where I take my Australian dollars from my bank, deposit it into the exchange, and then use that money to buy Bitcoins on the exchange. And I'll walk you through the process so that you're fully aware. So what I'm going to show you is how to obviously check pricing, which is on coinmarketcap.com. You can check the pricing for all coins. You can see how much they've gone up in percent value since in the last 24 hours. So as you see, there are multiple in the green. This company right here went up 95% in 24 hours. It's ridiculous amounts of money if you understand how they work and how you can really invest and also see your money grow in very short periods of time. So I want to show you, how to check pricing. I'll show you how to check which exchanges you can purchase those coins on, and then I'll run you through it through that transaction as well. So then I'll show you how to buy Bitcoin using BTC markets. I'll then show you how to transfer your Bitcoin to another exchange, such as Yobit, to purchase another alternative coin. The alternative coin that I'm going to show you is called No Limit Coin 2. That's one of my favorite coins that has earned me one of the most money. It also has a very bright future. As you can see, this is the growth of the coin, and it's been very steady, very high growth in just a month's time. So a lot's changed since the month when I got in, which was just around here, and a lot has changed, and the future seems very, very bright for this coin. And I'll show you the perks of investing in a coin like No Limit Coin. Of course, this isn't financial advice. I can't recommend anything to you. You have to do your own research. But once you have a good idea of things, please, now's the time to jump on cryptocurrency. I believe that this is just the beginning. So as you can imagine, these are all the popular coins. These are the top 10 traded. Now, if you want a sure bet, these are essentially blue chip coins, whereas they're fundamental to the use of cryptocurrency. Ripple, for example, connects with banks to allow for transactions to cryptocurrency to banks. However, you have to understand what Bitcoin stands for. Bitcoin is decentralized money. It means there is no control over the currency. Banks, this is pretty much anti-bank. So a coin like Ripple, although it may seem like a good choice because it uses existing bank systems, I do not see it forecasting to last very long, or at least to hold any value in the long term, because what Bitcoin stands for is anti-banks. So something that aligns itself with banks will suffer deeply as Bitcoin progresses and evolves. Now, a coin I'd like to point out, if you want a sure bet, something that will guarantee you gains, something where you can put your money into Bitcoin, then purchase another coin with that Bitcoin, and you know that in 2020 you're going to wake up nearly a millionaire, what I would suggest is you put a lot of money into Bitcoin, then deposit it all into OMG, Omesko. This is the one coin that I predict will, by 2020, it will just skyrocket. This will just increase in value exponentially. You'll see this at $100 plus. I'm very sure. This is one of the fundamental coins that I put my faith in. So as you can see, a lot of them hit a dip period here, and they've all grown back. Omesko bounced back as quick as you could after a dip like that. So this is definitely, if you want a sure way to win, this is what I'd recommend to you. I'm going to show you no limit coin because I believe that the coin growth is exponentially larger in a shorter period of time. So let's say you only have $10,000 to invest, or even $1,000. You don't want to be spending your money into a long haul kind of coin. Although the growth in the long term will be huge, exponential, it would be massive, but you're going to have to wait 2 years to see that 10 times your money, 15 times your money. In the crypto world, you could make that 15 times your money in a shorter period of time by investing in maybe a riskier coin that's just beginning, like No Limit Coin 2. So another tactic would be, for example, getting your Bitcoin. Let's say you have $10,000 into Bitcoin, which is essentially nearly two Bitcoins. You invest that into No Limit Coin 2. You 10 times your money in, say, a year's time. You then take that earning and then you deposit it straight into Omesko, which is a long-term coin that has longevity and will succeed in the long term as Bitcoin and cryptocurrency grows. That money will just see you grow into the future, well into 2025, just continual growth, and you can retire essentially on that premise, knowing that your money is safe. And with a smart investment, you could retire. So this isn't fake money, this is real money. There's great amounts to be made here. So I'll show you the steps on how to buy your first Bitcoin now, okay? So first of all, you want to create an account and verify your account on btcmarkets.net. Now, there are other methods. You can download an app called Coinbase. It's an Australian-based company. It will allow you to link up your bank account to transfer money into the app and then to purchase other coins. Now, you can only pick from the coins that they list on the app, and they're quite well-known coins. So all the popular ones will probably be on there, and I'm sure the list is growing every day. Another thing to keep an eye on is fees and charges. From my experiences, the fees on BTC markets isn't that bad compared to most other places. So I stick to what I know, which is buying on BTC markets, and then off I go. So you want to make an account, create an account. You want to verify it. It may take a couple of days. This way you're able to trade. Then what you want to do, once that's all done, you want to go to buy and sell. You want to check out the graph. So this is in 1 day, let's say 1 month. 1 month ago, you can understand that the coins, just here you can see the amount here. The amount around here 1 month ago was about 3,500. That's around about the time, I was started investing a lot more money around this time here. After months previous, I'd seen the growth. But this is when I started to truly believe in Bitcoin and obviously the future of it. So around this time, about the 3,500, in 1 month, popularity of Bitcoin has just grown. Huge amounts. So it's gone from 3,500 all the way, let's say 2 weeks, all the way to, what's the price there? You can see that here. So at the peak, which was about 1 week ago, you could get your Bitcoin had grown from price of 3,500 Australian to 6,358 Australian. Just Bitcoin itself, which is a huge growth in a month. If you had put in complete faith and deposited all your money into Bitcoin, anything that you had spare change, that would have doubled just through Bitcoin. Not to mention the chances that you would have grown if you had invested in other coins that were running parallel to Bitcoin. So as Bitcoin succeeds, these other coins succeed as well. So it's just a great system to be a part of because it's very hard to lose money if you're not. All you have to be is disciplined. As long as you don't sell for a price that is less than what you bought it for, you will not lose money. And you're part of a growing market. So that means that the market is just constantly, look at this, constantly growing. The trajectory is just up and up and up. So your coin will recover. Even if it comes down for a little while, these coins will recover and grow. So it's very hard to miss. It's just impatience that kills you, and that will lose your money if you're impatient and sell for a lower price that you buy it at. So you check the pricing here. Down the bottom here, you have the buy orders. These are people willing to buy Bitcoin. This person's willing to spend close to $2,000 at the price of $5,895. And then there's an order list, and then it just goes down. The reason why there's an order list is because in case someone from this side, which is the sellers group, gets impatient with waiting for people to buy their price, they might just dump and sell. And what that does, especially if you've got a lot of money that you've made through Bitcoin, if you dump that, you might just smash through these buy orders and the price of Bitcoin will plummet down. So if you go through this list and then you're selling to people at 7,800, well, other people might get impatient as well and think the price is lowering and then start selling also. And that's how you get a plummet in price, because people get scared that the market might be down and they want to get out before it crashes. So they will sell and then the price will just decrease as it goes on. So I'll show you how to make a buy. What you want to do is check, this was the last price that Bitcoin was bought for, so 5,900. If you're happy with that price, you go to account. You want to go to deposit, so you can deposit money into your account. You want to go down to the bottom option, which is AUD Poly Payments. Now, this is a payment system owned by Australian Post, so it's 100% legitimate. You can deposit money from your bank account into the exchange through this system, and you can transfer money from this account to your bank account through this system also. 100% legitimate, legal as well. If you do, there are some tax things to be aware of. If you make too much money and too much of a profit, you may need to pay tax on your winnings. So if you go to Australian CryptoSociety Australia, I've actually had a screenshot of a couple of the legal processes involved in terms of taxation on your money. If you want to check that out as well, they'll help you get a better idea of what to be aware of if you start making too much money and you want to. If you want to get around the system, or you want to try and increase as much of your winnings as possible without paying as much tax. And the only way you get paid you have to pay tax, is if you convert your Bitcoin value amount to an Australian value amount. Until you transfer that over, you don't have to pay tax on that. So if you have $1 million in Bitcoin, you only get taxed for that million if you transfer that whole million into Australian dollars. So that's something to keep aware of. Check out the website. Obviously, I'm not a taxational officer or anything like that. Please check out my website, my group on Facebook called CryptoSociety Australia. I've got a little print screen there of some basic rules and regulations and guidelines. But obviously, you have to visit the ATO website to find out more. So once you're in here, you can deposit up to $2,000 through the system here. So you'll be able to type in your amount, let's say 2,000 here, and press withdraw, deposit. And that will link up to your bank account and deposit your money from your bank to your exchange, which is BTC Markets. So once that money's in there, you go back to buy and sell. Your monetary value will show here. So there might be a 30-minute delay between the deposit and then it will show here. So depending on the volume on these websites, sometimes these transactions from your bank account to the actual exchange may take some time. It's just a waiting process. So let's say I've got $2,000 here. I can then check out if these prices here. So if I tap that, take that value amount, move it here. This is the price of Bitcoin So we're purchasing at 5895. I then can spend all, and it'll just calculate how much money I have, how much Bitcoin I can get exactly for that amount there. Or I can do it manually. Just type in a value amount, 0.67. So then all I need to do is say buy BTC. My order then joins the list here. If I don't want to mess around with this and I can't be bothered actually waiting for good prices, I can just press market and it'll just auto align me with these prices here and just sell automatically. So I'm guaranteed to purchase those coins. But yeah, you might have to pay more premium price range. So setting a limit is awesome. You might, let's just say if the market's dipping down a little bit, you can even put a very cheap price and press buy BTC, and then you'll join the group, the list down there in the 700 range. As you can see here in the graph, this is a one-day graph. So the cheapest it was today was 5,769. The most expensive it's been is 6,021. So it can go up and down quite drastically in a day. Especially over 4 days, you can see that things can go down and then things can rise back up. Generally, the trend is always upwards. So most things will recover. When things go down, instead of panicking, that's a great opportunity for you to buy more. In this market, it is constantly growing, so no investment will go without reward as long as you're patient and you buy at the lowest point that you possibly can. The market will go up. It's just time you have to wait. So if you follow those rules, you'll win. Now, let's say I buy my Bitcoin. I then have sell Bitcoin over here. So once I purchase this amount, it will show here, 0.167. Now, if I ever want to sell that Bitcoin into Australian dollars, I just have to put in a price. So let's say the predicted price of February 2018, which would be about $15,000. $15,000 for one Bitcoin. If I take my money, which was $2,000 investment, which was at 5,900, sorry. If I take that and the price rises to 15,000, which is predicted to become by February or around that time, I've just made $500 for doing absolutely nothing. So the value of my coin, or the amount of Bitcoin that I have, goes up in value as the price increases. So you can make money for doing absolutely nothing. This runs in the background. This is an upwards trend. You do not have to focus on it. You can literally put your money into Bitcoin, forget about it for 3 years, and you're looking at 4 times your value, maybe even more. Could even go up to 10 times your value just from Bitcoin itself. So this is something to focus on because this is a major key. This is a sure bet. Bitcoin is a sure bet. Now, if you want to exponentially grow this amount, so your Bitcoin amount goes up, so that when the price of the Bitcoin rises, you'll have more Bitcoin to sell. I'll show you that process now. So imagine 0.167. Let's say I want to trade it. I want to take it from this exchange. I want to put it into Yobit so that I can trade my Bitcoin for more NLC2 coin. So I can buy NLC2, which is another coin that is also on an upward trend, and that will increase the amount of Bitcoin that I have at the end of the 2 years. So I go to my BTC market, I go to account, I go to withdraw because I'm going to withdraw money from my account into another person's wallet, or another exchange's wallet. Sorry. So I've got my Bitcoin, and I want to move to Yobit. Because I'm trading Bitcoin, I have to select here. So what it's going to ask me, so my account has been verified for CryptoSociety. Now, what it's going to ask me is for an address and a total amount that I want to withdraw. So to find the address, and essentially it's like an email. It's a very specific email to my wallet, my Yobit wallet. I click on Wallet up the top. So obviously you have to register your own account here as well. So I click on Wallets. I then have a BTC wallet here. Now all I need to do is go deposit with a plus, and my address will come up here. So all I need to do is copy this, move that over here, paste it there, put in my total amount, and then press withdraw. Now withdraw will mean that it will be sent from here over to Yobit. Now this transaction is very, very finicky, and the reason why is because this is specific to you. The letters and the numbers you put in have to match up with the ones that you put in here. Otherwise, your money will be lost forever, and there's no way to recover it. So when you're making withdrawals, you have to copy and paste this and triple check to make sure everything is the way it should be before you press that withdraw button. So once you double check that, so the address is correct for your wallet, and you've double made sure that you selected Bitcoin, BTC, not the other coins, you have to make sure it's BTC. You go to deposit, you take that address, you copy it into the Bitcoin transaction area here, you put in the amount you want, you triple check that address is correct, you then press withdraw, and then the money will transfer over to Yobit. Now, when you have a pending deposit, it'll come up here and it'll tell you how many steps it has left before it's actually in your account. Now, this may take an hour, maybe two, depends on the volume of the actual exchange, if it's really busy. So when you deposit it, make sure it's not during peak hour time, and just make sure that you're willing to wait. So that will take its time. It'll come up here as waiting for deposits. But finally, after it's all finished, it'll come up in your balance just here. So I'm going to show you now how to trade your Bitcoin for NLC2 coin. I'll show you just here. So this is NLC2. Now I'll show you the value of why this is so important to wrap your head around, because this is where the real money is made. Bitcoin is going to be very expensive in the future. So what you're trying to focus on now is trying to accumulate as much Bitcoin as humanly possible before it's $50,000 for each Bitcoin. And that will happen by 2020, 21. It's destined to happen at some point in time, because Bitcoin is an ever-expanding kind of forefront. So once it's all transferred over, your Bitcoin amount is going to be shown here. So at the current pricing, it's 7,840 Satoshis. Satoshis are what we refer to as the lowest decimal point in a Bitcoin. So the cheaper a coin is, the lower it is on the decimal point scale. The more expensive it is, the higher it is on the decimal point scale, closer to being a whole Bitcoin value. Because nothing is worth one Bitcoin, nothing is worth one Bitcoin. Nothing's one for one. Essentially, everything trades in a decimal place. So I'll show you how this is practically shown, and I'll show you how people like me, we made our money very early on with great investments, because a lot of these prices were very cheap initially when Bitcoin was first kind of coming through and becoming popular. So let's say you come in with your give me a sec. If you come in with your 0.167 Bitcoin, now let's say you purchase this at 1,300, which is kind of the starting range of the price when I got in. So if you purchase this at 0.167, so that's $1,000, $2,000 investment. You purchase it at a cheap price of 1,300 Satoshis. You would have gotten 12,000 coins, so close to 13,000 coins of NLC2. So if you can imagine, if this coin reaches $1, you've just made $13,000, in value. But I'll show you practically how this increases your Bitcoin amount. So right now we've got 0.167 Bitcoin, okay? 0.167. I then use the coins that I've just purchased, which is close to 12,000. And then you see, if I had invested back then, the price of my Bitcoin would be close to nearly one whole Bitcoin. So just 1 month ago, if you had invested in NLC2 with your $2,000, your 0.167 would have grown to 0.98. Let's just call that a complete Bitcoin. So your $2,000, if you go back to BTC markets, your complete one Bitcoin at the current pricing list would have grown to 5,830. So your 2,000 would have just doubled in price, and you didn't have to do anything. That's just from NLC2 alone. So you can imagine if the Bitcoin price also doubles, let's say it reaches 15,000 as predicted. If you put money into NLC2, your $2,000 would have increased essentially in Bitcoin value. You would now have one Bitcoin, and the current pricing list for a Bitcoin is 15,000. Your $2,000 would equal to 14,872. Obviously, there's charging fees and all that. That's why it's decreased. But that's how you take $2,000 and get $15,000 like that, real quick. And this is operating on very conservative value numbers. If you would like, I can demonstrate real quick. If you can get out of your mind short term and start thinking long term, this coin is destined one day to reach 90,000 Satoshis, essentially. 90,000. So, yeah, 1, 2, 3. So, if you imagine you bought in at 1,300 Satoshis, your 0.167 at that new pricing list would have grown to 11.5 Bitcoin. That would be the amount that you would own if you sold your NLC2 coins at that current pricing. As you can see, it's on an uphill trend, and it will definitely grow, as it has grown from 1,300 to 13,000 here at one point. So as you can see, it's gone from 1,000 to 13,000, and it's very possible that it'll rise to 90,000 in 4 years. It's just conservative numbers. Like, I don't want to try and get everyone too excited, but this could happen in a year, could happen in 2, to be honest with you, if the market cap grows as expected. So this could actually happen in a very short period of time, and that's what I'm looking forward to as well. So if that grows to 90,000, your 12,000 Bitcoin, your 12,000 coins, once it's converted, is now 11.5 Bitcoin. Let's say that it reaches 15,000. You're looking at real numbers here. This is something that could happen to you if you invest as early as human possible. These are real numbers. Your $2,000 over time, nothing else, just time, could become $171,000. That's real numbers here. So what you're looking for is not small-mindedness, not looking at what it is now, but understanding that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is on an upward trend. It's only going to get more popular. More people saying about how they've become millionaires, made money effortlessly for no reason, pretty much. All they did was invest in a good coin at a cheap price when Bitcoin was cheap. And you can literally take your $2,000, invest it, and you could be sitting on $100,000. That's if you played conservative without trading other coins and doing a lot more stuff. So this is conservative values you can make. Now, what you do if you got those 11 Bitcoins, you then go back to your wallet. You withdraw them. So you withdraw. You got your address, you got your Bitcoin amount. So what you do is you go to account, you go to deposit, click deposit, and it'll give you your wallet address. It'll just pop up there. It's a little pop-up that'll come up. So Bitcoin, deposit, put your wallet address there, put your total Bitcoin amount there, and off you go. Transfers back to BTC. You then withdraw down the bottom here. You can transfer that money back into your bank account. You can only put 30,000 per day back into your bank account. That's perfect. That's fine with us. Depending on how much money you make, you would have to, like I said, pay tax. On my website, on my group, we have some guidelines to follow in terms of tax. But obviously, checking in with the ATO or getting a good accountant will definitely help you out when it comes back to trading your money for real fiat currency, which is Australian dollars or American dollars. So that's one way. So you make quick profit, take it back to your account, put it back into your bank account. You're laughing. You made money for no reason. Easy, ridiculous money. Now, the best thing about NLC2 is that I can take my coins, let's say my $13,000 coins. I can take that. I can go to the No Limit website. I can download its wallet. So let's say if this is a long hold, let's say I'm going to hold this for 2 to 3 years because I see the maximum profit. Now, what you do is you download the wallet. It comes up like this. The perks of having a wallet is that you can put it onto a spare computer that you don't really use. You can transfer your coins from Yobit, which is an exchange, over to your NLC2 wallet like this. Transfer your coins here. So it's out of sync right now, but when you obviously first download it, you let it sync, so it's all matched up to the actual server. You then send your coins here, and by keeping this wallet open, you participate in the network, the NLC2 network. And how they repay you for that, and what it means is that you help with the transaction of coins. You make the transactions quicker. So you become a master node in the system. And how they reward you is that they give you a stake. What a stake is that they pay you 4% compound interest on the amount of coins that you have stored on your wallet. So if I've got 100,000 coins stored in this wallet, they will pay me 4,000 coins by the end of the year. Now they pay you every 8 days or so, but it works out to being 4% of your total over the full year. So if I've got 100,000 coins, they're going to pay me 4,000 essentially coins for just keeping my money in a wallet, letting it run, and letting me be part of the software community and the community of the servers. So they pay me back in that way. The reason why that's important is because not many other coins do that. And because the NLC2 is quite cheap, you can kind of get those coins for a very minimal price. And then when NLC2 reaches, let's say, those really high pricing, so let's say it goes back up to, let's say it reaches 90k satoshis. Let's say my 4,000 coins that I get per year is actually close to 3.5, 3.6 Bitcoin. So I'm getting paid 3.6 Bitcoin in a year to hold these coins. 3.6 Bitcoin in, like, say 2 years time, actually 3 years time. When 2020 hits, this will probably be worth about 50, as a conservative number. This will be worth 50,000 for one Bitcoin. So if I'm getting paid 3.6 Bitcoin a year, you can imagine what this means for everybody involved. This is more than a wage. This is how you gain great amounts of wealth for making smart investment decisions as early as humanly possible. Get in, get what you deserve, and just wait. All it is a waiting game. If you're not a good trader and you want a guaranteed win, I would say take your Bitcoin, put it into NLC2 so you get your residual money. You accumulate as much as you can. You put it onto the wallet so that you get paid your 4% interest. And in the long haul, though, that 4% is just ridiculous because the price of Bitcoin is just going to be so expensive. If 1% of the population is using it now, and by February, maybe 2% will become aware of it, by 2020, they're estimating that 10% of the population will be involved at that point. So 10% from 1% that we're currently at, you can understand that this price point is just going to exponentially grow. We're going to be in a great position because we got in early. And yeah, actually, I'll quickly just walk you through the wallet. So you get the wallet, you go receive coins, you have an address. Same system, you go to Yobit, you go to your wallet. You then go withdraw. You then press withdraw. You put in the address. Take the address, plug it in there. Boom. How much money do you want to transfer over? Boom, transfer. And then it just sits in your wallet looking pretty. Then when you want to transfer it out, you say send coin, and it's the exact same system. You get the address of the wallet that you want to exchange it to, and then you put in the amount and you just press send. It's as simple as that. Once you get your head around the fact that it's just sending to email addresses essentially. You're sending it to a very specific email address, and those email addresses are linked up to wallets, and that's where you store your coins. You just got to make sure that those numbers are all correct, and also the amount of coins that you send are all correct, and yeah, you're aware of the fees involved sometimes with trading. Other than that, though, that's the sure way to win. You take your money from your exchange, you put it back into BTC market, you then withdraw it back into your bank account, and you've made real money. So I'm glad I could help you guys out. And if you've got any questions, please join Crypto Society Australia. It's a Facebook group. We're small, we're niche. We answer questions as best as we can. We're a community, so we're there to help people out with no matter what the question is. Do not be shy. Join and ask questions, and we're all there to help. So thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to my YouTube video channel, and please join the group as well. Thank you.